Ever since my last video, a lot has changed over the months. And in those months, I have stolen the egg time and time again from the people in the SMP. And this is how I've done it. By the way, for the first 2 seasons, I'm going to go into a sort of lightning round, so try to keep up. After the events of Season 1, Ghost Ollie ended up giving us all creative mode for a little while, and it was pretty much the definition of an anarchy server. A little while later, me and Variable, a teammate of mine, would get the Dragon Egg. And that was the first time I've ever gotten the Dragon Egg in the history of the Horizon SMP. So yeah, that was Season 2. Season 2 was mostly of everyone fighting each other and whatnot. And the suspicion of Ghost Ollie for reasons that I cannot remember because it's been too long. Anyway, moving on to Season 3. So Season 3 was completely different. We all had to grind for our own gear. And so that's what we did. We grinded for our own gear. And so I was teamed up with Variable, a teammate from last season, and don't ask me why I wasn't teamed up with Shadow or Axion because they're unpredictable, to say the least. And also because they were children. A little while later, this one other guy named Ronan was being betrayed left and right because he was an annoying piece of shit. I'm not even kidding, this guy would complain about anything. Creative mode, god gear, god items, god whatever. All this kid wanted was everything to be handed to him. A few weeks later, Skull, Lemon, and Phantom, also known as the Banana Buns, were caught cheating on the SMP, and now they're being investigated by Shadow himself. After a 20-minute stall, Skull confessed that he was the one that was cheating, so he was ultimately banned for it. And I'm done with my lightly round kind of thing. Now, we're moving on to Season 4. Now, Season 4 was very eventful this time. In Season 4, this time, me and Exxon, a teammate from a few seasons ago, Season 2. Now, remember this, me and Exxon don't have the best relationship, mainly because I would mostly, punch him constantly as a joke. And he didn't really like that. But this time, we decided to team up. Ish. And then notably escalated to this. After teaming up with Exxon and Shadow, I ultimately decided to go off on my own, mainly because I wanted to get geared up and so no one else attacks me anywhere. I would ultimately decide to live in a village just so I can get Prop 4 and whatnot. But because the Banana Buns were using locator maps, they found me. And conveniently, they had diamond armor. Great. So yeah, I wasn't at my highest at all. Me and Exxon decided to be geniuses and try to attack Lemon, who's probably the second best in the server. So who knows? But yeah, that didn't turn out really well. So yeah, I had to move out. And for some reason, Shadow made his base oddly close to spawn, so yeah. A little while later, I discovered that there were blaze rods in one of the chests, and I thought, well, this is gonna be my best opportunity to get the Dragon Egg. And I didn't really trust that Shadow would keep it safe and whatnot. Nor I thought he deserved it. So I decided to go off and try to get the Ender Dragon on my own, in which I would ultimately do. After killing the dragon and getting the Dragon Egg, somehow Lemon finds me, which was weird as hell. And Lemon claimed that he was looking for a village or something. And Lemon asked if he wanted to VC with me, in which I kept taunting him that he had to use cheats, in which he was. And when I VC'd with him, he killed me anyways, so that was a thing. And after a little while, me, Shadow, Exxon, and Ronan decided to go ahead and fight the Banana Bunch. And I don't know if it was a sense of pride or something, but we had really bad armor. Most of the armor was just from the end dimension. So yeah, we weren't exactly in a position to fight. But because Shadow was persistent, we decided to go in anyway. And we were collecting pearls before going into it to fight, because at the moment the Banana Bunch was griefing our base. And something to note down, Exxon was killed before we could do anything because he was at the base at the time, and the Banana Bunch got to him before we could get to him. Oh yeah, these videos take hours and days to make, so it'll mean a lot to me if you subscribed. I'm just saying, please subscribe. And while me and Ronan were just doing our own thing in the end, Shadow decided to do a 3v4 against the Banana Bunch, which was a bad call. So me and Ronan were heading over to the base. Thinking that I was heading into a battle, I decided to pot up and whatnot. Being the confident players that we were, we decided to taunt them to try to get them to come over to us. In which it worked, but even 10 seconds into the fight, I already had the Gapple, and as you could tell, we were severely outgeared. And yeah, we were pretty much told to log out, and yeah, it wasn't my proudest moment. But after a little while being stuck, the Banana Bunch decided to spawn trap me, and just made a giant obsidian box around me, in which Exxon had to break me out using his fist only. And yet again, I had to move out for the second time at this point. Or actually, I think it was like third time, because I was living in a pit for a day or two. Who knows? Anyway, so yeah, we pretty much had to move out again. That was fun. And as me and my team were working on base number 2 at this point, Shadow was suspected of being a spy for the Banana Bunch, so we made him our prisoner for the time being. And we no longer felt safe in that base anymore. And we heard that the Banana Bunch were heading towards our way, and we made another base on top of that. So that was a great time, and we were totally in our prime. So I just heard that prime is a drink now, and it has been for a while, so hashtag not sponsored. After cyberbullying a child for a bit, and cyberbullying my own teammate for a little bit, me, Shadow, and Forever were looting a village, and after a little while, looting for a little while, we discovered a completely different village, and it just so happened to be Nate from the Banana Bunch, and yes, I was Mind Manor that time. And Ghost Dolly, Shadow, was very insistent on fighting Nate. You know, he was probably the strongest person on their team. Me and Forever were very hesitant to do so because we knew we had garbage armor, but Shadow was very insistent on it. So hesitantly, we fought him. Okay, so I thought Nate was forever, and yeah. Either way, we lost the fight by a long shot and lost most of, if not all of our gear in that fight. So yeah, after getting into another argument with Ronan and whatnot, and getting a few screenshots because why not? The very next day, Shadow decides that enough was enough and decided to use cheats and pretty much just went in creative mode. And yet again, Shadow made us go into another fight, in which this time we actually have gear and something to fight and stuff that we can fight back with. And for a little while, we were just kind of vibing for a little while. Specifically me, I was just getting all close and personal with them. You know, just to lighten the mood, I suppose. And we got into battle, and wow, we lost horribly. Well, I went the first to die, pathetically. So after a little while of back and forth of non-existent fighting with me, walking around, yes, I somehow have this many god apples. And somehow this happened. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It might have been Shadow, or was probably Dropkick that did that. He's part of the Banana Boys, by the way. But after a little while later, Nate decided to show me around his base and a questionable amount of blaze rods. We were tasked to go to Shadow, and it didn't really matter because we were teleported there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end of Season 4 of the Horizon SMP. In the very next season, well, next season was very interesting.